is In the Know for Monday, April 28th, the 118th day of 2025. There are 247 days left in the year. Good morning, MB, guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station 1039 The Moose, live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast. On Facebook, on YouTube, on the platform formerly known as Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Beach. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Cutting it close?
Story of my life.
That one was closer than normal. You and I were watching national news headlines this morning and saw the news out of Clearwater that there was a mass casualty event last night involving a ferry, the Clearwater Ferry, and then a personal boat that collided and one person died. I heard later on this morning, and you might have heard it already, the people that they were ferrying them to the final day of the Sugar Sand Festival.
Oh, yeah, it's almost over.
Yeah, yesterday was the final day.
Yeah.
And so that's where
right.
they were going. And you were just at the Sugar Sand Festival
It
just a
was
couple of
so
weeks ago.
fun.
So anyway, I just feel bad for the loss of life
Yes,
and the
of
obviously the casualties that were there. But I would have never really thought twice about Clearwater until just being there recently.
Right.
And so really feel for that community. So Sugar Sand Festival, yeah, it's apparently a lot of fun. He is a 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's the 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Litchfield. He's Sam Gormley and the Sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, kind of recovering. We've had a busy weekend. I'll recap that a little bit later. I did see, baseball. You love baseball. I love baseball. One of the most fun things in baseball, in spite of there being a rain delay, nobody likes a rain delay, but they do happen from time to time. And when the grounds crew has to come out and rush to put the tarp on the field, that turns into a spectator sport in and of itself, because they're in such a hurry to do it, and it takes a large number of crew. You see, like, people get trapped underneath the tarp, and then the crowd cheers. You've seen this before, right?
Oh, yeah, the tarp monster.
Yeah, the tarp monster. Well, one member of the Nationals ground crew was not as fast as he needed to be Saturday night during the rain delay at Nationals Park. Rain began falling in the first inning of the scoreless game there with the Mets, and so started later than it should have anyway. But shortly after the on-site crew was instructed to bring out the tarp, one person narrowly avoided what could have been a serious injury. Have you seen this in video?
Yeah, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
It's one of the better ones, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad he was okay. It's funny. I on a couple of years ago, we had a tarp going on the field at Don Lee Field, and it might surprise you, it wasn't quite as efficient. From I think it was the Cougars, and I think Whitesville Trinity was helping them put it on, and they weren't quite as efficient, but I very much enjoyed standing up top and just watching the process happen.
Those crews that work for the MLB, those are like college kids that are doing internships, et cetera, and so, but they get more practice at it than maybe your high school crew might, so there's an art to it.
That's the thing, for like, if you work for a minor league baseball team, the radio guy has to go down and help.
Oh yeah,
that's always the thing too. So it's like I don't really know that that's something that would really be looking for, to have to run down from the press box right off the air to help unravel a tarp.
Yeah, there'd be things you'd rather be doing, without a doubt. It was a cool start to the Derby 151 week, but it's going to quickly feel like summer today. We're going to warm up in a hurry, and we'll get into the mid-80s before it's all said and done today. We do have an alert day in place for tomorrow for some strong and severe storms into the evening. We'll see stormy weather continuing midweek, then more storms possible Thursday evening. Friday looks like a chance of rain, but Saturday starting to look really nice. But it's going to be maybe a little bit cooler on Saturday than what you might hope for or expect for the first Saturday in May. We'll continue to talk about the Derby forecast. Mostly sunny today and a high of 86, increasing clouds 68 tonight. We'll see some severe storms possible tomorrow, a high of 84. Then 80 on your Wednesday, 79 for your high on Thursday, 73 for Oaks Day, and 67 for Derby Day. Now, yesterday, it was supposed to be the high was like 64, 63, but it turned out to be extremely pleasant yesterday. So the sunshine goes a long way to making it feel a little bit warmer as well. A couple of national headlines to talk to you about. Russia launched a sweeping drone assault and airstrikes across the Ukraine early yesterday, killing at least 4 people. You might have seen the photograph or the video of President Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky in the Vatican that were having. They had like 2 chairs pulled out there, and they were talking with one another, trying to get a deal done, a peace deal. And now President Trump is publicly doubting Vladimir Putin's desire for peace. A day before said that they thought a deal was really close. But I heard someone say this morning that President Trump's been played like a fiddle by Vladimir Putin. And I think the world has been played like a fiddle, including President Trump, for much too long. So whenever the Russian people come to their senses, it will be none too soon. A Hart County woman has died in a crossover crash. State police said troopers responded to the accident Friday morning about 6 o'clock on the Cub Run Highway, which is we know is Highway 88. The state police investigation showed a 2015 Ford F-150 driven by 44-year-old Randy Hawkins of Cub Run was traveling on 88 when he crossed the center line, collided with a 2010 Nissan Maxima being driven by 26-year-old Jordan Pippin, also of Horse Cave. Pippin was pronounced deceased at the scene by the Hart County Coroner's Office. A man is facing felony charges after a DUI crash near Caneyville injured his passenger. The Sheriff's Office, the Caneyville Fire, and Grayson County EMS responded to the wreck Saturday night about 11:30 in the 3300 block of Highway 79. Based on evidence at the scene, a Kia Sorento being driven by 35-year-old Thomas Scarbo of Butler County was traveling south on Morgantown Road when the vehicle left the roadway. The Kia traveled about 50 yards off the road, narrowly missed a culvert, struck an embankment, flipped onto its top, came to rest in the roadway. A female passenger was transported by EMS to Owensboro Health Twin Lakes. Scarbo was transported to the ER, was arrested and charged with DUI, felony wanton endangerment, and second-degree assault. He was lodged in the Grayson County Detention Center. Traffic note to tell you about this morning: if you're traveling the Rock Crusher Road Hill area where they are doing the Thomas and Byway expansion, I don't know if it is specifically linked to that project this morning, but there's been a lot of activity in that corridor. And today, at least early this morning, they had one lane road open for most of Rock Crusher Hill from about Clearview Baptist Church on until you get about Watkins Woods Way or so. They are either removing or repairing some guardrail just as you crest the hill closest to Litchfield. So that proved to be a
I'm sure school traffic was fun this morning for those in that corridor.
It was out of the ordinary. It's ordinarily busy through there, but it was exceptionally so. And if that is an all-day project, then it will be that way this afternoon.
Goodness.
As well. The Kentucky Attorney General's office has announced the state has received over $100 million in this year's Tobacco Master Settlement Agreement. The $100 million received this year will bring the total to $2.8 billion the state has received since 1998 from the nationwide agreement with cigarette manufacturers. So that money continues to flow in, even though this many years away from the settlement. Sam, I heard Ken mention this morning and heard over the weekend that the Cougar tennis team has been on an absolute tear the last few weeks. You have some of the details?
I wasn't prepared for that, but I can try and find it as you're talking there. Okay, here
Well,
it
I
is.
had heard, 7 in a row. They've rattled off 7 in a row, and
Yeah, I
they
mean,
defeated
I'm
North
looking.
Hardin on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm looking right here, and thanks to Greg Bernard for sending these to us. He asked me, he said, "Would you like me to send you tennis information?" I said, "Listen, we'll never turn down information."
Oh, sure.
Absolutely, and I said, "We'll definitely mention anything we can." So the Cougar boys are 14-2 and 10-1 in the third region. That's their 8th straight win that they had. So I guess they played North Hardin and Davis County. And so they beat North Hardin in the morning, and then they beat Davis County later in the day. So congratulations to them. A big win. I know Miles Mudd, Ethan Kingery, Jordan Smith, Carter Bernard all had wins as well there. And then the girls are 11-4. So, or 11-5, sorry. So they lost to Davis County, but they beat North Hardin. It was the first time they played North Hardin since 1995.
In less than 4 weeks, postseason's going to start for all of those programs.
Tennis is even sooner than that. Yeah, I think tennis is about
they
2.5,
do
3
get
weeks.
started because they have an elongated postseason. It seems like
Correct.
it's a little bit longer by the time they go through district, regional, and then on to state competition. But what's the scene for with 20 school days to go? I guess after today there'll be 19. So if, this is 4 weeks remain in the school calendar.
Not
What
that you're
do,
counting or anything, right?
Not that I'm counting or anything. Well, I actually had someone who works in the school system count it for me yesterday. I wasn't counting it down.
But now we are.
But
I thought
we
you were
did
talking about
count
an
down.
8-year-old or a 9-year-old was counting it down for you.
She is now
We
counting
are
it
now-
down.
Yeah, he brought it to her attention, so I'm sure she's.
When she got dropped off this morning, I said that now you only have 3 more Mondays. You have to wake up and go to school.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Yeah, but I still have 4 more Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays."
it.
But I said, "Well, let's look for the silver lining in it at least." The week ahead for Cougar baseball and softball, Sam, are we involved?
Yes, tonight we are at Grayson County High School for Edmonson County, making the trip to Grayson County High School. So that'll be a 5:30 start time. So our coverage about 5:15. These two teams matched up last week, and the Lady Cougars won 3-0. So they'll try to go for the season sweep against Edmonson County. Past couple of years, they've split. So maybe we'll see how that goes here tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll be back at home as the baseball team takes on Butler County at 5:30 as well at Don Lee Field. So the baseball team tonight is scheduled to go to Butler County, and I don't know what time that game's going to start. They say 7 o'clock, but they... and I know we've talked about this in the show before. When they built Butler County's baseball stadium, they forgot to take in something that's kind of important, and that's the placement of the sun this time of year. Mm-hmm. So the sun sets in center field. So they have to wait until the sun sets to actually be able to play the game.
They didn't consult Copernicus?
If they'd have turned it about 90 degrees, it would have been fine. But no, it literally sets in the absolute worst possible spot. So because of that, they have to wait until the sun sets.
Speaking of stadiums, I read in Kentucky Today, interesting headline that got my attention because it reminded me of childhood. So a few weeks ago, I was talking with Chris Winkle. You all have met Chris Winkle before, and the audience has too. He was part of the In the Know 3000 show. Anyway, he was the president of the Kentucky Broadcasters Association, someone I consider a friend. But during the flooding, I was sharing with him that I grew up playing ball at Crawdad Stadium, and what that meant that if it rained or if it flooded, there was no Little League for at least 2 weeks. And so I saw a headline this morning about our friends down in McLean County. And their baseball field flooded, and they couldn't play baseball for 2 weeks. They didn't touch a ball, they didn't practice, etc. So there you can see it. Many of us have been on that campus before. Mm-hmm. And you can see the football stadium there, where obviously we've been.
We were there in September.
Yeah, on Saturday, McLean County pulled off the rare feat. They won 2 games in 2 states on the same day. So they're trying to make up, obviously, for losing only a few weeks left in the schedule. They're trying to make it up. They opened the morning. They had a 9-3 victory over Perry Central in Leopold, and then they came back home and defeated Warren East 7-1 on Saturday night. So I'm surely that's happened before, but it doesn't happen very often. But McLean County did that, so good for them. Deion Walker is joining the Buffalo Bills. He got drafted along with Max Hairston, and they will be joining Ray Davis. Sam, I hate to say it, but all of a sudden I've got at least a rooting interest in watching the Bills a little bit. I'm happy for Deion Walker that he got drafted. What, third or fourth round?
Fourth.
Fourth round?
Yeah, but early in the fourth round. He was one of the first picks off the board. The Bills traded up to grab him.
The Bills did not take Shedeur Sanders, though, so that's okay. What, the Browns did?
Yeah, Browns did about the fifth. I think it was the fifth round is when he finally did go off the board. It was an entertaining. I mean, the draft is one of my favorite events of the year, so I watch a lot of it, and it was fun watching that process.
Well, so Bob Baffert is back after serving a suspension from the Kentucky Derby for 3 years. He is back, and he has 2 contenders in the Derby coming up on Saturday. And I suppose we should not be surprised that one of them has been installed as the morning line favorite for Derby 151. Streaking Journalism is the 3-1 morning line favorite. And Sovereignty is the 5-1 second choice. And so this is the week now where we start to kind of dive in on the Derby and Oaks Field. So if we just start, they had the post position draw over the weekend. So we'll start at the rail and work our way out. These are names that you may be hearing for the first time. I know I am, some of them, but you'll hear more about them as we go. Citizen Bull will be on the rail. Neo Equos is out of gate 2. Final Gambit, then Rodriguez, then American Promise, then Admire Daytona, Luxor Cafe, Journalism, Burnham Square, Grande, Flying Mohawk, East Avenue, Publisher, Tistastic, Render Judgment, Coal Battle, Sandman, Sovereignty, Chunk of Gold, Owen Almighty, and then also eligible is the 21st horse is Beza. So if someone scratches early enough in the week, Beza would move in. If you want to know the Oaks horses, early on, Simply Joking, Fondly, Drexel Hill, Quick Kick, Ballerina, La Cara, 5, Tenma, Take Charge Milady, Good Cheer, Anna's Promise, Bless the Broken, and Quiet Side are your Oaks fields for the fillies that will run on Friday. And but I know that we are going to be our Derby horse is named Brady, and he's gonna win the trip of the first year around the sun race on Saturday. It'll be a different Derby day for us.
Yeah, it's my dad's birthday as well.
Once in a long time.
Oh,
so
okay.
I guess 62 is not quite as good as 1, is it?
It's not. Well, I mean, it's
Perspective.
62 times greater. And then the Reds top the Rockies 8-1. Is that Lodolo? Is that
Lodolo.
Lodolo? Okay, I wasn't sure. I hadn't heard that name pronounced. But now the Reds will open a 4-game series against the Cardinals today. Martinez gets the start, I think, for the Reds this afternoon?
That sounds right.
I think that's who
I won't be able to watch since I'll be at Grayson County High School.
Yeah,
but I'll be following.
We're working hard today. All right, there are your headlines. We got plenty more today. We're going to talk about white lies coming up. Not that any of us have ever told them, but in case someone ever did, you can spot them. That and more coming up here on In the Know.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
If you're the average person, you only think about income taxes from January to April. But the choices you make 12 months a year have a big impact on your tax return preparation and even your refund. Making adjustments to your financial matters during tax filing season is like trying to lose weight during a routine doctor visit. The certified public accounting firm of Buckles, Travis & Hart work year-round to advise clients on important financial decisions so that during tax filing season, you're carrying a lot less stress and worry. Join the Peace of Mind team with Buckles, Travis & Hart, 270-259-5604 or GraysonCPAs.com.
April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. This is a time for our community to unite and protect the most vulnerable among us. At Casa of the Heartland, we believe that every child deserves to feel safe and loved. But sadly, not every child has that luxury. That's where you can make a difference. By supporting Casa of the Heartland, you're supporting a network of dedicated volunteers who stand up for children in need.
As a CASA volunteer, I've seen the impact of our advocacy firsthand. These children deserve our support and protection. I chose to do my part, and you can too.
Because of my CASA, I was able to go back to my family.
Let's do our part to prevent child abuse and neglect. Together, we can create a brighter future for the children in our community. To learn more about becoming a CASA volunteer, visit casaheartland.org or call 270-982-2274.
Thinking about furthering your education? At Elizabethtown Community and Technical College, you'll get a high-quality education close to home at a cost that won't break the bank. Enjoy small class sizes with professors who take a personal interest in your success. Scholarships are still available, making our low tuition even more affordable.
ECTC's Litchfield campus is now enrolling for classes that start May 11th.
Visit elizabethtown.kctcs.edu to get started. ECTC, College for the Real World.
Smith Overhead Door is redefining entryways in Litchfield, where every click of the remote promises reliability. It's not just about opening doors, it's about lasting assurance. We offer a service that inspects each part, making sure your door system thrives. With our service agreement with inspections up to 4 times a year, we spot the signs of wear before they whisper a problem, saving you more than just peace of mind. Opt for a 2-year plan and the savings rise. Make sure you get out the door with Smith Overhead Door at sohd.info. We're not just opening doors, we're opening possibilities.
The United States is speaking out after European Union antitrust regulators hit Apple and Meta with a combined $800 million in fines. William Denslow reports that the 2 U.S. tech companies are accused of violating EU digital competition laws.
US National Security Council spokesperson Brian Hughes says the fines on Meta and Apple are a novel form of economic extortion that won't be tolerated.
The fines could increase trade tensions between the U.S. and Europe, but European Commission officials claim they have nothing to do with the current trade situation and are the result of a year-long investigation. Meta and Apple plan to appeal the decision. WhatsApp is announcing new privacy options for chats. The new advanced chat privacy setting prevents users in a private chat from taking what's being said and sharing it outside the chat. Users can still, however, take screenshots. WhatsApp may add more protections in the future to prevent screenshots of a chat. And Netflix's newest goal is to become a $1 trillion company. Tech Report, I'm Mark Mayfield.
Today is Clean Comedy Day. It's International Pay It Forward Day. It's Blueberry Pie Day. It's National Kiss Your Mate Day. Those are things that we're celebrating today. Yesterday was a celebration of a 9th birthday for young Miss Alea. I apologize, Sam, that I didn't get you any photographs in enough time. I was stuck in traffic for a while, so running behind. By the way, I knew that, and it was my own fault. As we were going through, I saw them setting up the 1-lane road signs, but I was nosy enough that I wanted to know what they were doing. So it cost myself a few extra minutes, but I needed to know what they were doing so that I could share it with all of you.
There we go.
Right? Because that's where you get the know. You get from out the know to in the know. But so I didn't have time to send those to you, but she looks so cute. She has a new hairstyle today that I noticed the teachers at Clarkson when she was walking in, they were like looking at it, like, it was like, oh, look at that, how cute that is.
Good.
But anyway, had her family together yesterday. She has lots of different familial layers. And so gathering them together is always fun. But purple was the theme.
Purple was the theme.
We went from dogs last year to purple this year. So, Sam, I know you're a big fan of purple. So.
I mean, I got nothing against purple, although purple is Bowling Green, and Bowling Green's been coming from my alma mater these past couple of years, and I'm not sure that I really am loving that.
Yeah. Well, I was at the ECTC Ambassadors Luncheon on Friday, and enjoyed that, by the way. You filled in, you represented us last time, and I got hung up on a technical issue, and so we swapped out this time. But Tina is the new leader of the Hub on campus at ECTC, and she was wearing, she's a retired military person, and now she's gone on to a new career. I think she's about my age, but she had this purple dress on with a like a cardigan sweater that was this beautiful gold color, like over her shoulders, and I thought, you look like you could walk in the front door of Caneyville Elementary School and just own the place. So whenever I see those colors, they're Caneyville colors to me. And now when I do see them in Bowling Green, I kind of go, ugh. I wish you all get some different colors, because you shouldn't use ours.
See, I think of them or Ravens, and I don't like them either. So
And there are only so many colors, guys. You can find
That's true.
something wrong with, or that you don't.
I mean,
care
orange
for.
and orange and navy is the best way to do it.
If you think the purple, like the bats, the Louisville Bats have used that color for a long time, and one of those, I don't know if people have ever considered, but if you take the University of Louisville's color and you take the University of Kentucky's color and you mix them together, you get purple. And that's one of the reasons that it's fairly oftentimes used in Kentucky, because it's a combination of those two things. Why did she choose it?
So I asked her multiple times because, I do themes. I enjoy decorating that and whatever. And I ask and I ask and I ask and I ask. And finally it was kind of like, just purple. I'm like, okay. So purple it was. But we did, I added butterflies and, flowers and that kind of thing. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm sorry, but that table set up, the dining room table set up, it was pretty.
Yeah, it was. It was nice.
And the cake?
Sam, she had a purple strawberry cake.
I did. Yeah, that was, sure did.
Even Sam's perplexed.
Yeah.
How'd you swing that?
Strawberry cake?
Well, so strawberry cake and strawberry icing, I just tinted the icing to make it purple. And then I put 3D silver butterflies and then the purple sand sugar. It was, listen.
But I didn't think that was strawberry flavored. I thought that was pink flavored.
Oh, well.
I still remember, a couple of years ago, she came in with donuts and, she put in there, and I actually kind of like the strawberry donut, and I think I went for that, and it was like, nope.
Yeah.
She said, you're allowed to have a donut, but not that one, that one, that one, or that one.
She hasn't changed much. Yesterday, she announced that you weren't, the gathering of her family, they were not to eat too many of the cake pops, or whatever we're calling their cake pops without a stick being on them. But she loves them, and she wanted to make sure that they were rationed properly. And
so they are cheesecake balls, and I'm recently made a ridiculous number of those. But she found one that she really liked, and she helped me make that batch. So I made hers, and instead of the colored sprinkles, she had the cosmic sprinkles to incorporate all the purple.
Yeah, we had purple punch. It was a good day. I'm sure you'll probably see some of the photos socially before it's all said and done.
I plan to make a album.
9 in 10 Americans are changing how they shop for groceries to save money. If you've been skipping that impulse treat at the grocery store, you're not alone. Shoppers are switching up their grocery runs. 88% say they've changed their routines to save money, which is up from 85% in 2022. Restaurant meals are a no-go zone for many. 61% of people are reporting stress over affording groceries, say there may not be enough wiggle room in the budget for dining out. About 59% of respondents indicate that they are eating out less frequently these days. 87% of those surveyed claim they dine out once a week or less. 22% say they haven't eaten out in the past month. So what consumers are doing to navigate the price increases, but you can buy staples in bulk, maybe at warehouse retailers or so, that can help you save. You might also consider shopping around for the best credit card deals. If used correctly, credit cards can help you accumulate points and discounts as well as build a stronger credit score. You know, the key, of course, is to pay that off monthly. It's instead of using your debit card for those things. You know, you can use a credit card for that, but just make sure the same funds that you were going to use to, you know, in your debit card account is going against that, and then you accumulate some of those points. And then how to save on groceries without switching stores. If you're feeling squeezed but you don't want to maybe go to a different store, there are several cost-cutting avenues to explore. You might consider adding extra stops to your grocery run, or think outside the box when picking up steak. Establish a clear budget by assessing your current income, defining your personal finance goals, and etc. I don't know that we're being intentional about it, but I have found that I commented to you the other day that our chest type freezer is more empty than it has been, and it's just because I'm eating way less. So we're just kind of naturally trying to use up some of the stores we have, instead of adding to the new and then buying things as we need it rather than accumulating it. There was a mentality. We all lived through the COVID season, and there was a mentality of, because of supply chain issues, people, even if they weren't deliberate about it, there was something in the back of their mind saying, well, I need to hang on to this because we might run out, or we might not be able to get it. And I think using up some of your stores is maybe an indicator that we have moved on from that season far enough that in an innate way, or even in a subconscious way, we're returning back to maybe the way we were doing things in 2019 in certain areas. This headline made me laugh, and I have a feeling it's going to be implemented, or is at least going to be an aha moment for someone like Ms. Buckles. A mom who is accused of overpacking to go on family vacation decided that she was going to show the family she was always the overpacker. Mm-hmm. And the kids and the husband complained about it and said, you always overpack. And she said, fine, you all pack your own bags.
Like it already.
But then what she did was she continued to take items that she knew they were going to forget. And then she made them earn those things on the trip. So when the kid and the husband came along and said, I forgot my blank, I forgot my toothbrush, she said, oh, you mean like this? Mm-hmm. So dad has to pay actual money because he's got adult money, is what she said.
I like it.
But the kids have to do things like 20 minutes of leave mom alone time. Like, so she can lay by the pool.
Fantastic.
So she's bartering all these things, saying, and just proving a point that the reason that I overpack is because you all underpack.
I hear you. I hear you, Mama.
You know how that goes, don't you?
I do.
You've usually got a traveling pharmacy. If somebody gets sick, if somebody needs an antibiotic,
You'll never go hungry.
That's right.
There's lots of things.
Here are 7 brilliant white lies that parents tell their children to get them to behave. Not that any of us have ever done this, and not that we've had parents who have ever told white lies.
No, my mother would never.
She would never do that.
No.
1, if you tell a lie, your nose will grow.
I'd never. Yeah.
That's telling a lie about a lie.
I'm not Pinocchio.
Not a Pinocchio. Number 2, eating vegetables will make you strong.
Oh, that one all the time. Yeah.
But that's not a lie.
It is it is misdirection. It is.
Yeah.
If you eat a healthy diet, including vegetables, you will possibly be a strong individual. And it's important to have a good, have all the major food groups, vitamins, et cetera,
I mean,
et cetera.
I always thought if I opened up a can of spinach and just threw it into my mouth that I'd bulk up almost immediately, but that never seemed to happen
you'd
either.
be saying things like, go.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
It's seemingly it doesn't work that way though.
No, it does not. Spinach does not make a tattoo of an anchor grow on your forearm.
Yeah, but
much like they would have you believe.
But I think I even said it's almost like he's got tumors in his forearm, so too. Like your forearm shouldn't be quite that wide.
But they were, Bugs Bunny was always eating carrots, and they told you he could see in the dark. So it's just.
What was your Popeye impression again?
If you number 3, if you keep misbehaving, then Santa Claus will put you on the naughty list. Number 4, there is a naughty list, by the way.
Oh, there is. Mm-hmm.
Number 4, if you cross your eyes, stick out your tongue, your face will freeze that way.
Yeah, I was always told if you do that and somebody hits you on the back of the head, that's what happens.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Just a way of getting kids to stop doing it. Number 5, keep sitting that close to the television and you will go blind.
Yeah, I've heard that one. Mm-hmm.
Number 6, the car won't start until everyone is buckled up.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah, that's not bad. And I don't know that this is a lie. If you wander away, someone is going to snatch you. I think it's important to teach kids to be aware of their surroundings and such, but to be that direct and say, if you wander off, someone will snatch you. I think it's important to say someone could, someone might, but to make it a definitive someone will, I'm not so sure.
I think my mom knew that she didn't really have to worry about that because if somebody did, they'd be calling her saying, "Can you take this back? We don't want this."
Yeah, absolutely.
We've made a mistake.
But you were sweet.
No.
Just what is no comment better? I mean, listen, a couple of brothers, that's never a good combination, is it?
Okay.
All right, Sam, I want to introduce everyone to Carolyn Segrist, or Segrist. Do you happen to have her photograph?
Is this our 74 or however old?
Yeah, 88.
88. Okay, well, I didn't.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce you to. This is Carolyn Segrist. She's been to the beauty shop recently. She is the once a week to the beauty shop to get her hair did, right? You can tell she spends time at the beauty shop. This story comes to us from Clearwater, Florida. So if you had Clearwater and 2 stories on your bingo card today, fill your square. In another instance of gray-on-gray crime, an 88-year-old woman is accused of fleeing the scene after plowing her SUV into the mobility scooter of a 77-year-old victim who was thrown from the electric vehicle and hospitalized for her injuries. Investigators say Carolyn Segrist was driving in the parking lot of Sam's Club in Clearwater when the crash occurred. Segrist, cops charged, struck Laverne Hampton's mobility scooter with the front of her Buick Envision. Hampton was thrown from the scooter and was hospitalized from her injuries. Segrist allegedly did not stop at the scene of the crash to render aid or exchange information. 4 hours after the incident, police arrested the retired octogenarian for leaving the scene of a crash involving serious injury, which is a felony. She was booked into the county jail and scheduled for an initial court appearance this morning.
I have so much.
She lives about 4 miles away in a condo that she purchased with her husband in 1987. Now, in 2023, so just 2 years ago, she pleaded guilty to careless driving that resulted in a crash and paid a $166
Should Mamaw maybe have her license taken away?
Okay,
I
look.
think it is time.
Mamaw is probably mad that in her mugshot, her lipstick on the center has rubbed off. Okay, she's mad about that. She pulled a Tawanda is what she did, okay?
I
And
got
she's
more insurance.
old enough that she doesn't care.
I'm older than you.
Right?
And I got more insurance.
Exactly.
Although
She's like-
she was another woman that she hit, on her Jazzy.
Again,
So
maybe she didn't like her. She
listen.
probably pulled a Tawanda.
Sam's Club parking lot, dangerous place. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Today's Did You Know? And the weekend box office figures are in. That's coming up here on In the Know.
If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. If the interest rates on your credit cards are so high, it'll take years to get out of debt. Call Consolidated Credit now. They've helped over 10 million people without destroying your credit. They can reduce your interest rates, lower your total payments up to 30 to 50% to get you out of debt fast. For a free consultation, call Consolidated Credit now. The program works. Call 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. 1-800-206-6755. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services, Inc., 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33313. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 1492, Oregon DM 80092. Licensed by the Virginia State Corporation. Commission license number DC 83. Service may adversely affect the individual's credit. Non-payment of debt may lead to additional finance charges or collections activity, including legal action, not a loan company.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
And here's Clark with the weather. How's it looking for our weekend boaters out there, Clark?
Well, Stacy, we can expect periods of heavy rain across the viewing area. That means all the trash, lawn chemicals, and other hazardous waste on the ground go down the storm drains and into our rivers, lakes, and streams.
Gross.
Gross is right, Stacy. Now here's Dave with sports.
Do your part to keep our new Kentucky home clean. Make sure only stormwater goes down storm drains. Brought to you by Team Kentucky and the Kentucky Transport.
Did you know there's money available to help you pay for trade school or college? Yep, and all you need to do is fill out the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA. Completing the FAFSA costs you nothing but time, and it can pay off big. And there are experts across Kentucky who can help. For more info, visit gearupky.org/money. That's gearupky.org/money. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
At Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield, Dr. Priyank Chauhan provides compassionate care for adults and seniors. Board certified in internal and geriatric medicine, he's dedicated to managing chronic conditions, preserving independence, and enhancing the quality of life. Proudly serving Grayson County because your health matters. Schedule today. Call Owensboro Health Family Medicine in Litchfield at 270-259-8888.
K105 weather from the Wave Storm Tracking Team is brought to you by Smith Overhead Door, SOHD.info.
Twin Lakes weather. Jackets this morning, t-shirt and shorts this afternoon, starting off in the 50s for your Monday, but we'll be in the low to mid 80s Monday afternoon with a good bit of sunshine. That'll be a different story on Tuesday after starting off on a rather warm note. Showers and thunderstorms increase Tuesday afternoon. Any storms that develop tomorrow afternoon could be strong with damaging winds, hail, and heavy rain. From the Wave Storm Tracking Team, I'm Carson Meredith.
Did you know the average bra is designed for just 6 to 9 months of use?
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know if that's continuous use or if that's like 8 hours a day, 6 to 9 months, 6 to 9 consecutive months. So
depending on
get
how you
some
wash
variation.
it.
But exactly.
Yeah.
But my guess is many women exceed that No matter how you calculate the metrics, my guess is way more than 9 months of use.
Sure.
We're also not replacing sneakers often enough, which just depending upon how you use them as well. The weekend box office figures are in. Sinners held off the Star Wars re-release. Revenge of the Sith, for its anniversary, came back to theaters. But Sinners got $45 million in ticket sales from theaters in the United States and our 51st state, Canada. Revenge of the Sith, it was at second, did $25 million. The Accountant 2 did $24 million. A Minecraft movie. I want to see The Accountant 2. The first one's good. It's Ben Affleck. It's odd. A Minecraft movie at 4th, Until Dawn 5th, The King of Kings at 6th, The Amateur at 7, Warfare at 8, Pink Floyd at Pompeii at 9, and The Legend of Ochi at 10 today. In Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you'll remember that Pee-wee famously rode a big bicycle, and Tim Burton did that in 1985. Had the big flared fenders, and it almost looked like a motorcycle. It probably weighed 115 pounds, but that is going up for auction. It's coming from the estate of Jay Ward, who is one of the 14 iconic red bikes used during the filming of the movie. Will go up for sale during a 2-day auction, May 3rd and 4th. We know a collector of bicycles. I'll be interested to know if he is bidding on Pee-wee's Big Adventure bicycle. It was on the movie poster. You know, you showed him watching it in kind of a E.T. looking pose. What else do you need to know about? Oh, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees for 2025 are out. In the performer category, Bad Company, Chubby Checker, Joe Cocker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, The White Stripes. In the Musical Influence Award category, Salt and Peppa and Warren Zevon. The Musical Excellence Award, Tom Bell, Nicky Hopkins, and Carol Kay. I don't know them. And in the Met Erdogan Award, Lenny Waronker. I don't know him either.
Does Matt Jones get a bonus or something, you think?
For Warren Zevon getting in?
Yeah.
They always get to pick who introduces them into the hall. Maybe Warren will pick Matt. Maybe he'll do his
hadn't he gone on in, as you would say? Isn't Warren Zevon on that?
I'm not sure. It doesn't say the late Warren Zevon anywhere that I'm reading this. But
Yes, it's been 22 years.
22 years?
He died in 2003.
Wow. Huh. Okay.
So I guess you weren't having in the know that day, so you have an excuse to not have mentioned it.
That's true. Katy Perry recently went into lower Earth orbit with the group on the Blue Origin, and they have taken a little bit of a listen. I'm for it. I think what they did is great. I think it's neat. They're not astronauts, so I can't say that they are, but she might have picked some poor timing. She has been called out by fans for debuting space-inspired Lifetime's tour outfit. So here's one of them, if you're watching on screen. But she's kind of leaning into the whole spacesuit, astronaut, weird-looking. Like she's got several different ones and sides and poses and all that stuff. I think she's trying a little too hard.
Yeah, for her.
It's just
go like midlife crisis.
Just be your normal, right?
Yeah.
Just go out with your normal costumery. Don't try and be like, well, now that I'm an astronaut, then I get to wear all the space costumes because I've earned the right, etc. I think even some of her own fans are sort of like, we get it. You were on the rocket. We know. So, I guess, c'est la vie. We got to get to a break. Point to ponder, pearl of wisdom, chart toppers coming up here on In the Know.
Bob and Audrey wanted to change the world. They got married and hit the ground running. Within a few years, they had 3 kids. They worked at the local and the national level to help strengthen families. They were well known in the community. They were busy, really busy. They didn't see that as a problem, though. They saw it as a mindset. Every moment was an important opportunity to reach somebody that needed help. Bob and Audrey were driven to do more, to be better, and to always stay on top of things. They were going so hard in life, they never saw the cracks in their marriage starting to form. Neither of them appreciated the danger their marriage was in. They were too caught up in the whirlwind of busyness they'd created for themselves. They were losing touch with their children, with their marriage, and with their own hearts. And as with every crack that's ignored, it widened until the whole structure of their marriage collapsed upon itself. Busyness will keep the ground beneath your marriage shaking, and that'll lead to cracks in your relationship. Busy means more than a lot of activity. It's a condition of the heart as well. We won't notice what our spouse is thinking or feeling if our attention is always on ourselves or other people. Hard work is something to be proud of. So is wanting to make a positive impact on the world. But the goal is for you and your spouse to do it together. To help your marriage thrive, visit FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
The words you are about to hear are taken from letters sent in by members of the Trinity Debt Management Program.
Dear Trinity, today I'm making my final credit card payment.
Before I came to you, I was in a constant state of anxiety and panic, but now there is hope for my family's financial future.
Working with Trinity made me understand that I'm not alone.
You really do help people.
Your kindness will never be forgotten. Without Trinity's support, I would not have achieved my lifelong goal of becoming debt-free.
We saved a lot on interest and penalties, of course, but the reward was the gift of human kindness.
Trinity has carried me through a very difficult time in my life. You're amazing.
I used to feel so anxious and hopeless. Now I feel grace and peace.
God bless Trinity as you continue to help others become debt-free.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Midway Pharmacy is your trusted local partner in health and wellness, offering free delivery so you never have to worry about picking up your medications. The friendly staff knows you by name and is always ready to assist you. Living and raising our families in the same community, they understand your needs. With a wide range of services and personalized care, Midway Pharmacy is here to make your life easier and healthier. Visit or call any countywide location today of Midway Pharmacy. MD's point to ponder for today. What's the weirdest conversation you've eavesdropped on? The weirdest conversation you've eavesdropped on. I had a hard time coming up with one for me, but I don't know if you recall this, but where we used to live, the driveways were much closer and the front doors were much closer to one another, and we have a former neighbor who was having a conversation with, I think, their mom. And you were hearing both sides of the conversation. And do you remember what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Yeah. And it was recorded. Like, you recorded it because you had to share with me, like, you wouldn't believe this. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it could be one of several people. I don't think would that be the weirdest?
I don't know now. I'm so, wow.
Sam,
I'm going to say that it was.
Sam, do you have any weird ones?
None come to mind, but I'm also not really an eavesdropper. Like, I just...
Well, sometimes you can't help it.
Yeah, sometimes you can't help it, but for the most part, I don't care.
I don't think eavesdropping in this case is you deliberately went out of your way to...
But even like, I am such a tune-outer. Like, I'm just... Yeah. Like, I'm in my own little bubble. And if you need to get into my bubble, then I will react to you. But for the most part, I'm focused on what I need to be focused on, kind of thing.
Sometimes you have to knock. It's like, Sam...
Yep. Okay. What?
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
It's not that I'm not paying attention, but I'm not.
Sam
paying
clearly
attention.
did not grow up in the era of party lines.
Yes, that is
No.
true.
That's where
I got some education.
I mean, we had
on the party
a
line.
we had a
At least some good
landline.
gossip.
I mean, we had a landline, but
it was not a
It
party.
was not a party line, though.
no.
So
Listen.
we had early with the house I grew up in, I think for very briefly had a party line.
We have.
But I think that went away pretty quick. But on Sinks Road was my greatest exposure to a party line because my Mama Alvina and Papa Malcolm's house was on a party line with several different neighbors. And my granny, famously, my great-grandmother, famously, that was her Facebook, was picking up on the party line and
Yes.
listening in to see what was going on.
You had to be really careful on how you picked up. So you had your hand on the earpiece, if you will, and then you had to have your thumb or your finger on where it presses down so that you can ease
Yeah, if you did it too
off
quick,
of
it would click.
It would
People would
click,
know somebody picked
right?
up.
And they would know. Yes, I remember many.
Today, there's no telling what was
I was
observed.
nosy anyway, so just saying.
Were not
I did.
not currently. Yeah, I know. Not anymore.
No,
You're
not
nosy
anymore.
No, of course not.
No.
Today's highlight in history. This date in 2004, the world first viewed images of prisoner of use at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq. Birthdays today. Former Secretary of State James Baker III is 95 today. Anne Margaret is 84. Jay Leno is 75. Barry Larkin is 61. Sam.
The captain.
John Daly is 59. Too Short is 59. Bridget Moynihan is 54. Penelope Cruz is 51. Drew and Jonathan Scott are 47. Jessica Alba is 44. Gone but not forgotten, James Monroe, our fifth president, born in 1758. Lionel Barrymore was born in 1878. Oscar Schindler in 1908. Ferruccio Lamborghini in 1916. And Harper Lee was born this date in 1926.
She
topper.
didn't die that long ago, right?
It was not that long ago, 2016.
Oh, okay. I thought it was more recent than that.
1958, David Seville, #1 with The Witch Doctor. Ooh, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ting,
Are you
tang,
against
walla,
this
bing,
one,
bang.
Christy?
For me, it is it's a kid thing for me.
Because it's the Chipmunks.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the Chipmunks would be something that you wouldn't necessarily be that much of a fan of.
I'm not a big fan, but when in the car for the Christmas ones, yeah, with my kids.
But if the Chipmunks whistle, it's over.
That's
Tommy James and the Shondells, #1 in 67. I think we're alone now. All right, let's move forward to the 1970s. Yeah, 76. The Bellamy Brothers were #1 with Let Your Love Flow.
some hair right there.
Oh, yeah. There's a Man, the Bellamy Brothers are so good. I can't remember their first names. 1985, USA for Africa is the boss. We are the children. Kenny Loggins. By the way, I'm telling you, if you've never seen The Greatest Night in Pop, if you've never seen the documentary, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Have you watched the Bob
Face to
Dylan
Face the
movie yet?
Sign, #1 in 94. Yes, I did. It's very good.
Is it?
Listen, Timothy Chalamet just became, he had me convinced that he was Bob Dylan.
Really? Because it's popped up on my Disney Plus when I pull it up, but I just haven't had taken the time to know if it was worth watching.
Rock
So
Your
it's worth the
Body,
watch?
Justin Timberlake in 2003. It is worth it, yeah. Kind of long.
Oh, really?
But he does a good job. He does a really good job. Edward Norton does as Pete Seeger. He did a tremendous job too. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says the best way to keep your friends is to not give them away. The best way to keep your friends is to not give them away. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
The Twin Lakes Best Mix is WKHG Litchfield, the Twin Lakes Best Mix.